Good evening, everybody, and welcome back again with another live show on the channel. Match preview it is for the game tomorrow. Arsenal versus Newcastle United, 7:45 kickoff at the Emirates Stadium. So Newcastle head down to the capital city tomorrow to take on Arsenal, who are sitting top of the table. And I'm joined by Arsenal fan Tony on today's show. How are you doing, Tony?
See, yeah, PD Proudlock. You know what? Yeah, it it hasn't been a better time to meet Newcastle right now, man. You know, it's gonna be at the capital. It's gonna be at the Emirates, and we're just gonna treat you guys the way we've been treating you for the past years.
Yeah, I can understand that why. Definitely in a way. Also been on a win streak against us at the Emirates Stadium as of late. We've not
Hmm.
won there since 2010. And after that, it's been defeat after there. But
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, guys, if you enjoy tonight's preview, please, of course, hit the thumbs up. Please, if you do enjoy, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel or if you're enjoying the content and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It really is growing the channel. And do hit the notification bell as well to be let you know of any other live shows or any pre-recorded videos that have gone on to the channel as well. We'll just rattle through a couple of comments before we get into it. So White Trout, the channel even in PW. Well, Andrew's in. All right, lads. I still remember our 7-3 defeat down there, says Liam. So do I as well, definitely. Well, Tony, you said you may have possibly met us at the right time.
I'm telling you, man, it's the right time. You just had a blip, in the script from the Matrix, because you see, yeah, that draw against Leeds in the last match, it's just the weakness Arsenal need at the right time. It just
Mm-hmm.
came at the right time because just have a grip and think about what Newcastle is going through right now.
Yep.
They're going and they're coming into a team that they last beat them. uh of course you won that game in St. James Park in 2022, but think the last time you actually beat Arsenal was in 2005,
10.
10 or so.
That was when we
that's
last
a,
won at the
that's
Emirates. Would you believe
that's
it?
a long time ago. That's a long time ago, stretching back to 35 games, my brother. Since 2005, you've only won twice against Arsenal. That's how abysmal Newcastle's record
Yep.
is against Arsenal, dating back 35 games, and you've won just two. But you see, yeah, look at the shining light down there. The last time you beat Arsenal was in 2010. I'm not
Yep.
talking of this year in particular. Of course, you beat us in St. James Park in 2002, but in 2010, that was when you actually beat Arsenal. If you remember that one goal that was being scored, you know who. Is somewhere down in I don't know which club he plays for. I think it should be Andy Carroll's goal or something like
It
that. I don't
was,
know.
yep.
Yeah,
It was Andy
but you know
Carroll, yep.
what? Yeah, the shining light for Newcastle is that you guys are unbeaten in 16 games. Of course, you've lost one in 17 games. One of that game is one game that I thought that you actually lost by robbery, which was that game, that crucial game against Liverpool, where you lost, to Liverpool. But since then, it's been a 16 game unbeaten run from a phenomenal coach, Eddie Howe. It's changed the way you guys have played. It's a party. But I'm sorry, PD Proudler. I'm sorry to break this news for you. You're going to meet your Waterloo at the Emirates Stadium, as you've always done, for this past years. I'm sorry you will meet your Waterloo come tomorrow on Wednesday, tea time, down here in Finland.
Oh, well, we'll wait and see. It's going to be an interesting game, as I see. Hi, Pete and Tony says, Tony, I remember Shearer's winning penalty at Highbury. That was back in 2001 under Bobby. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
See you at 8:30. Yep, I'm jumping on Lucas' channel at 8:30. So
Mm.
this will be a good
Shout out to
game.
Luca. Luca, great guy, great Arsenal fan.
Yeah, he is really good guy.
Yeah.
Andrew's confident for Newcastle are going to win down there. Tony, expect bounce back syndrome for Men UFC. Or we beat under Rafa. That was at home. Arsenal thinks
Yeah.
they're going to go flat soon. Do you think you might have there might be a part where there might be a dip in form for Arsenal? Mm.
See. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. We went down to Manchester United. Of course, we had an injury to Thomas Partey, who has formed quite, a partnership with Granit Xhaka. But even you, Mr. Proudlock, you have to admit it that Arsenal have been in blistering form since that blip to Manchester United. We've been blitzing teams home and away. See, yeah, even Chelsea lost to that Brighton team. Arsenal, Arsenal went down there to Brighton against the Seagulls and got a result against Brighton, who was actually taking points from at least the top four teams in the past two seasons, and made a public show of them, winning them four goals to two. We have a striker in Eddie Nketiah who is brimming with confidence right now. Gabriel Jesus, when injured for about 3 months now, he's going to be injured, and instead of Arsenal to have at least a low goal margin in these games. Instead, we're blistering teams. We've got 7 goals in 2 appearances since coming back from the World Cup. See, man, I don't know how you're gonna put it, but Arsenal is on the high. I don't see us dropping points right now. And Newcastle will see, yeah, it might be a tough match tomorrow, but Newcastle will crumble at the Emirates tomorrow.
Oh, hope you're wrong, but we're just gonna wait and see. But Arsenal, yeah, I think you can see they are where they are because of how they've been playing. I
Hmm.
think Nketiah's now trying to make a name for himself as well, so it's his opportunity to shine. But
Yeah,
yeah, you do go on about our record. It has been shocking down there. That's it. But
abysmal,
it has.
abysmal.
I mean, I've got to say, we came down yours last season. Um, Eddie Howe's first game in charge of being in the dugout because he missed the first game when
Hmm.
he had COVID. But I thought we didn't play too bad down at your place last season, but we just came up a bit short. That was the
A
thing.
bit short, yeah, exactly. See, it all boils down to what Eddie Howe has made that team. The only reason why we're having this conversation down here right now is because of how Eddie Howe has been able to set up that Newcastle team. Uh, you know, uh, the shared belief is given some very core players in your team. Joe Linton turning this guy into a completely different player, scoring and enjoying football again. When was the last time you saw smiles all over Joe Linton? Right now, Joe Linton is playing with all smiles out. That's what Eddie Howe has brought to this team. He's brought in an average player in the mode of Miguel Almiron and turned him into a goal beast in just a season. Now, that should let you know the levels, and the trajectory to which Eddie Howe has actually set up this team to succeed. Uh, but again, Mr. Proudlock, you have to admit in that game against Leeds, what happened when Newcastle is bereft of ideas and when teams decide to sit back and jostle and haggle in low blocks throughout the game. How would you cope? That was what Leeds did, in the last match. So
Hmm.
it's meant for you to now prove to us. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we had some opportunities. We just wasted a ton load of chances. I mean, we Longstaff, Joe Linton blazing chances. I mean,
Hmm.
Chris Wood. The ones I'm more annoyed about is actually the ones that Chris Wood's completely scuffed.
Oh, oh,
I
oh,
mean, he's got to be putting them in
that's
there,
painful.
which is why I hope for tomorrow he comes out, Callum Wilson goes in.
See, yeah. See, yeah. There's a thing called don't tinker with what has been working for your team.
Yeah, true.
I don't want the setback against Leeds to kind of like inform a kind of like a chain reaction in terms of lots of changes to that Newcastle team. These things, they happen at times. The teams that you would generally meet that would come, sit back and soak up all the pressure. And take you guys seriously. And that's what you guys met against Leeds. But again, the reaction of Eddie Howe to that draw in this coming match against Arsenal.
Mhm.
Mentally, I want, because I really want to rate Eddie Howe right now. I want to see I want to see where he has gotten to as a coach right now. Of course, improved performances, improved results, 16 matches unbeaten, like 16 games unbeaten in the Premiership, and of course, the whole games in England, actually, when you check it in terms of the Carabao Cup, if you're joining those
Mhm.
games together, you guys have run up to a 16 game unbeaten, bar the match against Liverpool. I want to see the level, the mental strength of Eddie Howe bouncing back from Leeds, that Leeds draw, because whether you like it or not, it was a little bit of a step backwards.
Mhm.
Mostly when you hear Eddie's pre-game talk, where he was talking up the chances of Newcastle actually winning the title, or going for the title, and it just happens that when he just said it, pressure was all over the team to get a goal, and that's
Mhm.
what happens when you put pressure on a team like Newcastle. It has to be a
Mhm.
gradual process.
Absolutely. Mr. Sinclair's in the house. Big up, Pete and Tony. Hope you both
Hey, John Sinclair, big ups to you, my brother. John
Trippier.
Sinclair,
You're
great
right.
guy.
Trippier, you're not. You're right. He's not banned as he's been booked for Bournemouth as it's a cup game. Doesn't count for the Premier League. Great show, my guys. Cheers so much. Johns, I like coffee. I like coffee. Even if we lose at home, I think we'll beat Fulham. We can't still beat Fulham at home. We're to Odegaard. That's a good one. Odegaard. He's
Mm.
been brilliant, I think.
See, man, I don't know which which trajectory to start about this midfielder coming in from Real Madrid, and just slotting into that midfield position and just running the show in that Arsenal shirt. Of course, he had a difficult season last season, but right now he's comfortable playing in his own skin, in his own, aura in that Arsenal midfield. He's running the shows. The way and the manner in which, he takes on players at this time. And his keen eye for an eagle eye pass, man, that has what has improved lately from him. Usually, he had this criticism of not being able to have lots of stamina, on the ball most times, and he loses concentration most times. But I'm sorry to break it to you, his form has just tremendously changed over the past 10 games. The way he's spraying the passes, the way he's actually developing his game, having more stamina on the ball, having a keen eye for those keen passes in those little pocket spaces. And that's what I'm looking forward to with Newcastle, mostly that shuts down and breaks down lots of players. You guys cover up all the whole spaces. And Arsenal is a team that thrives in those little pocket spaces, and that's why Martin Odegaard would be highly needed to kind of like unpark and kind of like deconstruct the compactness that Newcastle will bring to the table at the Emirates come tomorrow, Wednesday.
Absolutely. And this one, um, hold on, just bear with me.
Mr. Proudlock, he's scoring goals, so he's
Yes,
also a goal threat. He's also a goal threat.
yes. And along with this man here as well.
Oh my God. Let's just don't start down there. See, yeah. See, Mr. Proudlock, this is what I told you, yeah. It's going to be a very big test. Let's don't get it twisted. This is going to be a very, very big test for Newcastle, and how much of Like, how much of grit do they have? This will really test them, because when you see a player in the mode of Martinelli coming in from the from the left, and you see a player who's brimming in confidence
Mhm.
right now, and of course his exploits in the World Cup, scoring lots of goals in the World Cup, coming back again, and taking off from where he left behind in the Premiership.
Mhm.
And of course he's been the player of the season last season, and the season before, and this season again. Actually, it's the player of the season for Arsenal Football Club. You cannot underestimate the progression of Bukayo Saka and what he's going to bring to that game tomorrow. It's going to be constant threats. I want to see how you guys are going to deal with it. Longstaff will be very, very instrumental to your game tomorrow. I want to see what's up with him. What's going to come out of him? Your midfield is going to be a big battle area also. Bruno Guimaraes. I want to see what's going to happen tomorrow. These are key battle areas.
I mean, were you gutted you didn't get Bruno and he came to us instead? Because there was a lot of
Mm.
there was
Yeah,
a lot of going on
there's
that.
still that revenge kind of theme going on down there. With that Bruno Guimaraes. Arsenal fans and Arsenal faithful haven't really forgiven Newcastle for snapping him up our hands of course in the transfer window when you guys went for him.
Yes, absolutely. Very much too. This is a question from I Like Coffee.
Mm,
Ramsdale, he didn't look like he had the best of games, but
mm.
do you think he'll get back to his best? I think he's been terrific as well.
Yeah, see, yeah. Ramsdale is a young player. He's not like this kind of player that have gotten to a crescendo in his career, that has lots of experiences. Mind you, just 2 seasons ago, this guy was in a relegation battle and actually relegated his team in a way. So
Mhm.
coming into a big club like Arsenal, you will definitely have your ups and downs. Mind you, he was picked to go to the World Cup, and he didn't even play up to 2 games down
Mhm.
there. I'm not sure he even appeared in the World Cup. This takes its toll. So of course, I can really understand where your question is coming from, and I really understand from Ramsdale's point of view. Is having a little bit of a downtime right now, but I think he'll shake it up, because he's one of those kind of players that have great mental strength. He's always a vocal one at the back, in that back five for Arsenal. He's always there. He's always vocal. He's always talking. He's always sending out directions. And someone as vocal as him should have the mental strength to come back and bounce back from any deficiency that he's facing. He's not. He hasn't been poor. Let's get that correctly. But he's been having, one or two, problems at the back. But I think he will shake it off. He has great mental strength. He will bounce back.
Absolutely, yeah. And what do you make this one from Liam? The Saints and Arsenal thinks that the title is definitely going to go to them. Are you thinking not just yet, or do you think we need to
Uh,
win more games?
Liam, shout out to Liam. Liam also subscribed to my channel. Big up to you, Liam. See, Liam, yeah. One of the most important things in the Premiership is winning the league title. Yeah, Arsenal haven't won that league title in 19 years, up to nearly 20 seasons. Of
Mm,
course, this is a time to shout. The closest time we got near to that title was that season that Leicester City pulled off a great upset and changed how we see the Premiership in a way. Uh, and of course, when Eduardo had that his big injury that kind of scuffled our chances of winning the title. Arsenal fans coming down to this point and seeing everything we've gone through, and we've been the banter club of the Premiership.
mm,
Mr. Proudlock, we've been we've been at the back end of lots of abuses. Now, Mikel Arteta comes in from Man City, as an assistant coach, comes up, take over the reins at Arsenal. We were eighth in a season, fifth in a season, of course. And then he just completely turns it around the season. We've missed out on Champions League. As big as Arsenal Football Club is, the third biggest club in England as it is, haven't tasted Champions League football, in lots of years. For us to come up to this point and well up to a crescendo of not just trying to look at top four, but actually having a shot at the title. Come on, Liam, we have to talk. We have to talk. We have to talk that talk. It's the
Mhm.
same thing as Newcastle. Many Newcastle fans are now starting to believe. Mr. Proudlock is one Newcastle fan, that's quite humble, with his expectations. I really understand where he's coming from. He's very humble. But I've started seeing some, Newcastle fans coming out and talking tough. Now, that's how you go bigging up your team when you know you're on a top four push. That's how you get it. And that's what Arsenal fans are doing right now, coming out from the woodworks and talking, because we have to talk. We have to support our team. And any kind of support this team can get right now, we have to give it to them.
Absolutely. That was the Bruno chant we've got. Which Truls, hope you well. I trout that all away, the lads. Tottenham was more of a title contender when Leicester won the league. I know. How wide were Arsenal starting to miss out? What was going wrong with Arsenal previously? Missing out on the Champions League at times. And either keep falling in the Europa League or 2021 season missed out on Europe altogether.
See,
For
see,
them.
yeah, Mr. Proudlock. If you go into this Arsenal, why we haven't been in the Champions League and all, for me, it's more than a footballing reason. It's more about management of the club. Arsenal have been at the back end of lots of shambles. I mean, at the helms of affairs, at Arsenal. Can you believe it, Mr. Proudlock, that Arsenal can't even get 15 million pounds for our record signing in the club, which was Nikolai Pepe, and we bought him for about 70 plus add-ons, a million euros at the time, from Lille. We can't get any amount of money from these players. Now, it affects the whole way the whole club is run, in a way, because we cannot be able to bring in players because we don't have enough resources at the time, to get players to complement the ones that Wenger actually left behind for us. We've been at the back end of acrimonious defenders coming, to Arsenal, Squillaci, all these guys, Koscielny, who later turned out to be a saboteur, donning the FC Bordeaux shirt at the end of the day and throwing the Arsenal shirt, and bringing off Mustafi, disgraceful defenders, to Arsenal. All these things have its effect. Of course, we brought in big players, of course, but it all came at a cost.
Mm.
Attitudinal problems, character problems, off-field problems. People like Ozil, people like Aubameyang, who was on a thorn on the flesh of Arsenal fans in terms of his personal life and bringing it back down there to the field, disrupting everything Arsenal had going. Right now, you could see the progression of Arsenal right now, and that's why I do think that Newcastle should actually be very, very careful with Eddie Howe. Give him time to develop. Give him time to have his own core, his own team, just like what Mikel Arteta currently enjoys with
Mhm.
Arsenal Football Club. Get into the club, throw away all this dead food in the club that just only want money and are just actually basically leeches to the football club. Of course, Ozil, he threw him out of the club. Koscielny out of the club. Pepe out of the club. Aubameyang, destructive, all his destructive
Mhm.
qualities out of the club. Now he now has a core. I think that's the way Newcastle should model, their gameplay, their management system, all around Eddie Howe. Because for some reason, I'm hearing that your club might actually do away with Eddie Howe. I don't know, but of course, when a club has lots of money, they might start looking for a big coach that actually fits the stature of what they're looking for. I
Mhm.
don't know. Yeah, but let's see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, from our side tomorrow, which of us, who would you say out of our side that your team needs to be wary of out of our team?
See, yeah, I'm completely wary about Newcastle. Let's don't get it, twisted. Of course, I'm an Arsenal fan. I should big up my team. But see, yeah, it's quite unusual to see a team get through 16 games unbeaten, unscathed. Man, that's huge.
Yeah.
Since that Liverpool game, it's a big one.
Oh
You
yeah.
hardly see teams do this.
Which players would do you need to watch from our side as well?
obviously, obviously, it's going to be Bruno Guimaraes and Miguel Almiron. Miguel Almiron has a total of about close to 10 goals this
Nearly, yeah.
season. 10 goals this season. I can't believe it that I'm talking about Miguel Almiron like this. He's been at this. He's been at this football club. He's been at this league. Very average player, and that's why I think that Eddie Howe isn't getting enough props that he should be getting.
Hmm.
The modern manner he's galvanized this team, the mentality, the winning mentality is brought down to this team. It's magnificent. And even you know what, yeah, Kieran Trippier. This is a guy that most Newcastle fans haven't really given him the props that he really deserves because people just see Miguel Almiron, Joe Linton, and their displays. But hey, Kieran Trippier has been one of the best players in that Newcastle
Should
shed
be
this season.
should be captain of this club right now.
I'm
He
telling
gets
you,
cap he
he's
gets
been
captain's
absolutely
armband.
wonderful.
He gets captain's armband when Lascelles doesn't play. To me, Lascelles as a player to me should be heading out the door now. And Kieran Trippier should be given that captain. He's not afraid to go into players when they simply do not perform or they completely switch off at some point as well.
Exactly,
Definitely.
man. Exactly. So the players Arsenal should be watching tomorrow should be Kieran Trippier, of
Of course,
course.
he might
Uh,
get maybe quite a bit of stick considering him being a former Spurs player as well.
Being a former sports player, of course, it has to come definitely. But again, he's a very experienced player. He's played for Tottenham Hotspurs. He's also played for Atletico de Madrid. And when you're a big player and you've played in this big football clubs, definitely you already have grown a pair. You've grown up. You've got that ball set and that metal to be able to handle this kind of pressures when they come. So he will meet a very, very harsh and vociferous Arsenal fans, on his back at the end of the day. But he's a big player and he's very experienced. Of course, he came back from the World Cup, brimming with lots of experience, and he is a big player. He'll come good. He'll come good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but of course, the players were to watch, out for tomorrow. Kieran Trippier and the middle of the park, Bruno Guimaraes. See, I cannot overestimate and underestimate anything this guy has done this season. This guy is a complete brute. He's a beast in the middle of the park. I just don't know his strength, his sheer strength, the way he actually handles the ball in the midfield and actually helps and aids your transition forward. And one thing again I've seen again is his growing partnership with Longstaff is something that's been underestimated this season. He's growing time and time again with Longstaff beside him, and also Willock. In that same midfield area, just forming that partnership and moving forward. Joe Willock was always a winger, of which he slots into that area that Joe Allinton is actually occupying right now.
Mhm.
But to see Wilson come a little bit backwards, to form that partnership with Bruno Guimaraes, that compact three at at the midfield. See, yeah, it aids your transition. Willock is very, very quick. Bruno Guimaraes is that strength and that muscle in that midfield, but he's also becoming a very, very big goal threat this season, and that's what Arsenal should watch out for.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm,
Definitely as well. So we'll run
mm.
through the predicted lineups in just a moment.
Yeah,
And
yeah. And just again, Arsenal should be very, very wary about Miguel Almiron. There's something different apart from scoring goals this season. Yeah, there's there's this vibe I get from forward players that uh, that just acquire dribbling skills. For some reason, Miguel Almiron has added dribbling skills to his goal scoring and poaching ability this season. See, yeah, it was wonderful to see the game you guys played. Not the game against Leeds, your former game. Who did you guys play before the Leeds game? That
Leicester.
was Leicester. Did you see that goal he scored? He's added dribbling skills to to his gameplay, and that makes him completely dangerous. There's no difference between him and Ronaldo. I mean, the big Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo. If he can be able to actually add goal scoring progression with dribbling skills at the same time and a great footballing IQ. See, you have one of the most deadliest strikers in the Premiership in Miguel Almiron. Let's forget about Ivan Drago. I'm talking about Erling Haaland, of course. When you scored 20 plus goals right now in the season, mm, of course, people would air out what you've done. But Miguel Almiron should be up there with with what is going on right now in the league.
Absolutely, yeah. I believe we'll see more goals from. Some of my comments have disappeared. I don't know why, because StreamYard likes to have a habit of doing that. So apologies if I've lost some of your comments, unfortunately. But I've got a one from Lucas says, "Big up, hope you're well, Luke. I'll be catching you later on your show."
Big ups,
And
Luca. Big ups. We love you, man.
that's
Happy
it.
New Year.
Absolutely, as well, definitely.
Mm,
I mean, both teams kind of set up sort of similar the way four three
very similar.
three, like 4-3-3, or do also
Mm.
still like to persist with the 4-2-3-1 at the moment?
See, man, it's going to be the same thing. And again, that's one thing coaches will tell you, big time coaches will tell you, don't tweak what works for you. I think that 4-3-3 works with Newcastle, very, very well. Of course, Shaw and Botman manning that central defensive area for you. Kyrian Trippier also in the left hand side for you. Of course, he overlaps, and of course, Burns also at the right hand side. In a four-man defense. Of course, in your midfield, it's not a person than Bruno Guimaraes. He comes in, he plays quite well. He's strong. He's a muscle. In the middle of the park, and of course, you have Longstaff, he has formed a very very big partnership with. If Bruno Guimaraes sort of disappears from that central defensive area, Longstaff is down there to mop up the remnants of danger that's been smelt around that midfield area. Of course, Willock with his pace, blistering pace, and he might not be a very big goal scoring threat, but again, his pace could literally give any team trouble, running mostly from the midfield at any day and any time. So, of course, 4-3-3 is what works for you. Joe Linton, a completely different player, enjoying his game in Newcastle, bringing back those smiles again. That's what you want to see. It's a big problem that Newcastle have right now, mostly when Isaac will be knocking on the door,
Yeah, when
quite
he's back
soon.
from injury.
It's a good problem for Newcastle to have
Oh, yeah.
right now.
I mean, people will be wondering why we're not playing Maxi at times, but you
Mm.
don't kind of drop a win inside at the moment. Maxi, he's been a bit frustrating for me this season, St. Maximin.
Hmm. See, yeah. See, Maxima is always that player you should always still respect.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mostly in the running for that relegation battle you guys had last season. It was very, very instrumental to that. If you remember, I'm not of this school that these players that really got to help you, you should just throw them away. No, I still do think that Newcastle still needs squad in depth. That's what you don't have right now. Of course, you guys are winning games, but it will be troubling if Newcastle as a team and as a fan base actually think that they have squad in depth. You do need Maxima down there,
Yep.
as part of your squad depth down there. Find a way to make him happy. Include him in the games at times. Make him come in, during those second half tough, low blocked games that these teams you'll be facing quite soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, we still need extra players. That's just why I would love James Maddison to come in. Hopefully, at some point.
What's you guys' fascination with James Madison?
Oh, I think it's a player we could do with. We really need as well. I think he's just been excellent. The guy doesn't want to be at Leicester City anymore. I don't think. I
Yeah,
really don't
yeah.
think he does. The way there's been talks of a possible injury. I'm not so sure. There could
He's
be, but
injury prone. He's injury prone. That's the problem.
he
That's
has
why
been as
teams are
well.
genuinely scared about him to shell out that amount of money for him
All
without
depends how
playing.
much Leicester are going to hold out from if we do go from in this window.
Is English. He has to go for nothing less than 65 million pounds.
I think, yeah, considering this, he's got about a bit left on his contract. Still is most. We could get Tielemans quite cheap at the moment because he comes out at the end of the contract, the end of the season.
But will Tillemans give you what a James Madison will give you? Because a
I
James
think
Madison can battle within that midfield for you. He also has goals in his armory.
Tielemans would be a good player to protect the back four, which is what he can do as well.
Yeah,
So, and considering we've got Shelby out for quite some number of weeks now, which is why we
yeah.
could do with that extra player. Ali
By
Collins
the way,
says,
by the way, I do like John Joe Shelby. He's a great player,
he
but
has
he's just injury prone for my
been
liking.
injury prone. I think it's a player we kind of need to move on come the end of the season.
Yeah,
Miggy Denny Striker would have been laughing if someone told me that last season. Yeah, but look at the way he's transformed it. Yeah, this is one for me. Can see Willock scoring against Arsenal. What do you make of Joe Willock? Because obviously you had him, and then we had him on loan, and then we got him from use permanently.
yeah. See, yeah. This is the problem when it comes to former players, of Arsenal Football Club. They always have a bone to pick. They always want to prove the manager wrong. They always have this bone to pick, with Arsenal at the end of the day. The person that said that in the charts, see, you're not far from reality. I really do think that Joe Willock will come out to, he wants to make a shout. He wants to create that razzmatazz and make a whole lot of noise when it comes to the Emirates. That was his former stomping yard before. But again, he couldn't cut it at Emirates, not because of his skill set or not because of he couldn't cut it, but I think it's more. It has to do more with we had more experience and better players, at the wings at the time, that were ahead of him. We had a Gabriel Martinelli who could still play ahead of him. Of course, Saka who could play at all sides in that front three, apart from being a number 9. So he couldn't just really, have that space and time to really cause lots of damage for Arsenal. But he's always a threat. I keep saying it. Any player that's young, strong, and has lots of pace, which is the strength of Joe Willock, you're always a danger at the end of the day. With that amount of pace, you're always a danger.
Yeah, he is a one for pace. He's told the players did really well. Been a little bit disappointed a little bit in the past couple of games, but there will be a time where players will have that moment.
Mm,
So yeah,
mm.
hopefully it's going
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
interesting.
but he'll come good. Again, he's a young player. This
Yes,
is not a player that has an enormous amount of experience. He's a young player. You have to be patient with these guys. If it's just the question of about bringing them and he's not good enough, throwing them away, you would be in that same situation that Chelsea is at right now with Kevin De Bruyne, with Salah right now. So
absolutely.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
I'm in London now. Anyone know what the way bars are tomorrow? I'm not too sure actually. I believe that's Dom. That's in the chat there. I'm not too sure, Dom. You'll have to try and find it and ask because I've not been at Arsenal for years now.
Really? Since when? You've been afraid. You've been
2006.
afraid of the
Oh,
of the
it's not just
of the
that.
whippings you get
It's
there, right?
like when it comes to like away games,
Hmm.
to get tickets for away games,
Mm,
you've got to have loyalty points on your season to get them
mm,
on your season ticket.
yeah.
But the fact is, they start off the points far too high. So whoever's got the most points are going to get in there first.
in there
And the
first.
fact, and by the time it comes down, down, and down, they've all
Mhm.
gone.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's been the issue because I would love to get back on away games at some point, but it's just hard to get them. It's just with the
Yeah.
lightly points, and I've only got a couple of lightly points so far, which is the thing. So, but never mind. Hopefully I'll be good again. Last time I was in Austin was 2006. Would you believe it?
Oh, are you serious?
That was when the
It's a
season
long
you
time
moved it
ago, man.
when you moved into the Emirates. That season we
Yeah,
played.
that's
We
up to about 36 games away.
yeah, and
If 2006 was the last time you came to the Emirates, then it was about 30, I think 34 games away. So you've not watched Arsenal
yeah,
since I
and
mean, in the stadium since 35 34
yeah,
games. Wow, that's
absolutely. Yeah,
incredible.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we played a 1-1 draw down there, and it was Kieran Dyer who scored for us, and I think it was Thierry
Yeah,
Henry for
Dyer,
you.
great
And
player.
yeah, I mean,
Mm.
but I would like to get myself hopefully back
Yeah,
down to
yeah, sure,
definitely just
sure.
any away game would be great to go
Sure,
back to
sure. Again,
again.
I would like to ask you yourself, because you too, you're also part and parcel of this. You should take part of the blame when all these things start blowing up in in your faces. Do you
Mhm.
genuinely see Newcastle in Arsenal come tomorrow? Where do you think the key battles will lie, my brother?
Or it's hard. Midfield, I mean, because both sets aside have got really good midfield.
Mm,
Up front as well, defensively is going to be interesting. I think
mm.
your side can still concede goals, silly goals at times.
Obviously.
Mm,
Mm, mhm.
That's the thing. I mean, that third goal Brighton scored.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a it's a tough one to call. I've got to admit,
True.
but but again, Arsenal. I think that's what Arsenal just need to cut out their side sloppy
Mm,
goals, and we've conceded the less goals. So I would say Arsenal may find it hard to break down our defense tomorrow because of
yeah,
how well we've been playing as well, and
yeah.
see if we could open up your defense as well. Apparently, Liam says there's a pub called the Drayton Park. Oh, well, there you go, Dom.
Yeah, the Drayton Park, yeah, that's a good one.
There
That's
you
a
are.
good one.
As well.
But again, that Brighton game, yeah. People forget that Brighton has been one of the most consistent teams in the Premiership.
Been really good.
Of course, they've had a bad run in the past 5 6 games, but still, they're still a very competitive team to play. The way they have low blocks in and about the midfield and in their defense system,
Mhm.
it's quite harsh to just say that that Arsenal will consider those goals because you're genuinely playing the Seagulls at home, and they'll throw everything at you, including the kitchen sink
Yeah.
at you.
Liam says, do you go to Arsenal games? When was the last time you went to Arsenal games, considering you're living out of the UK at the moment?
Yeah, I went. The last time I went to an Arsenal game was just last year, and
Oh,
that was the North London Derby.
oh, the three is that the 3-1
Yeah,
win? Or
I
2-1?
always loved the London Derby. We always
Oh,
beat Tottenham at home, so I was just there, vibing and enjoying the
yeah,
whole thing down there. And it's just good to see that Tottenham Hotspurs have actually conceded that they're not title contenders as
I think they're massively
said
as well.
by Conte yesterday. I'm just so freaking happy about that, man.
Absolutely. Well,
And
mhm,
I'm sorry, Mr. Proudlock, just to talk about this Brighton stuff. Brighton have beaten Man United this season. They beat
yep.
them 2-1. They've beaten Chelsea this season. They drew with
Uh-huh.
you
It did,
this
yes.
season, 0-0. So for Arsenal to go to their home, disgrace them, and absolutely rip off the skirts at home,
And normally
4-2,
Brighton,
it's
yeah,
huge. It's
absolutely.
huge.
Well, Brighton, they have been a bit of a bogey side for your team as well.
As
At
well,
times,
of
yeah.
course.
Okay.
It's a big
Yeah,
boogie team. And
absolutely.
again, they deal on man marking. It's just like Newcastle. They play the same kind of way Newcastle are playing. Man marking, very aggressive and very attacking minded. That's how Eddie Howe set up Newcastle. They want to attack. They don't want to sit
Mhm.
back. Same thing you guys did against Man City. if Arsenal thinks that Newcastle is not going to come out tomorrow, we better wake up from that dream and that slumber. They're gonna come attacking because that's the very engine box that Eddie Howe has trained these guys and molded them to play. Attacking football, attack, attack, attack. Sometimes you guys might be susceptible at the back, but the thing there is that Newcastle haven't really been tested at the back because I think for some reason, these teams you've been facing somehow give you guys a lot of respect, try and
Mm,
soak up a lot of pressure from you guys, and I felt that you guys haven't really been tested at the back. Trust me,
well,
Proudlock, you will be tested tomorrow at the back. You
whoa,
will be.
we'll see. I think we do get tested, but we just defend so well at times now. That's the thing.
Mm.
So that's been the opportunity. Miggy, very, very improved, says Luca. Absolutely. Right. Predicted lineup. So, Tony, what do you think Arteta's starting 11 is going to be tomorrow? Any changes, or is he going to go with a complete same starting 11?
Hmm. I don't see any changes. I think he would love to have a go because yeah, when he sees that Leeds game, of course he's gonna watch that Leeds game. Newcastle haven't lost a game in 16 games, including that Leeds
Mhm,
game. But that Leeds game will be a template to which he would look at and say, you know what, yeah, I, I think we can actually stifle the attacks of Newcastle. We can legitimately do that, and the way you can actually do that is to make sure that Granit Xhaka doesn't overlap quite much because over the past 15, 16 games, Granit Xhaka has been rooted above Thomas Partey, and he has been, up front. I think he would have to give Thomas Partey a little bit of support in the middle of the park because Newcastle have fast, pacey players that can catch you real quick on the break. Of course, Joe Linton, he's running. Willock, and
mhm,
of course, these players they want to prove a point to Arsenal. I'm talking of Willock right now. Their pace, they can catch you on the break. Longstaff is also known to, mop up that area. That's where the battle would be in the middle of the park. Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka. We have to
mhm.
keep a compact middle to be able to stifle the attacks. And this pace that Miguel Almiron has found this season. Keep him out of the park and keep him out of our defensive mechanism. Also, you guys will be meeting an absolute rock in Saliba. Of course, his form hasn't really been that good for some time, at least after coming back from the World Cup. But I think Mikel Arteta will talk him up for this one. It's either go or bust in this one. He has to manhandle Almiron tomorrow. It's a big must. It's a big must.
Mm. So you think the same starting 11 for your side tomorrow?
Yeah. I literally see him putting the same 11. Mind you, do and Mikel Arteta have this as a law for himself. Don't tweak what you can, what is working. Don't change it. Leave it
Mhm,
like that. I like what he's doing. Of course, Thomas Partey will be at the middle of the park. Granit Xhaka also will be there in the midfield trio with also Odegaard running the show and looking for those little niggling pocket passes in the middle of the park. So you should be wary, very wary of this guy. Of course, Saka will be trying to do damage and cause damage on the right hand side.
mhm,
I really want to see that war with Burns. At the at your back four. I really want to see that war, and also Martinelli. I want to see what Kylian Trippier is a very experienced player. Don't get me wrong, but I want to see. I want to really see Kylian Trippier test himself against that pacey young Brazilian called Gabriel Martinelli. I really want to see. It's a tasty one. That's what makes this match a very, very interesting. Very tasty one.
absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, so you think same starting 11. For mine, I think there might just be one change for us, and I think Callum Wilson will come back in for me. Personally, I like to see him back in. I think we need him back in. He's normally
Mm.
ahead of Chris Wood anyway. Chris Wood's been coming in because
Mm.
Callum Wilson's just been missing.
Yeah.
But Callum Wilson, if you need goals, Callum Wilson's better for doing them. And that's why I
Yeah.
would like to see Callum Wilson back in that start line tomorrow, because Chris Wood missed glorious opportunities, and you can't afford to be missing those kind of chances.
Yeah.
So one change for me, Callum Wilson. So the rest I'm going to keep the same. So goalkeeper, of course, Nick Pope. The back four, Trippier, Shea, Bottom and Byrne. Midfield three, of course, of Bruno, Joe Willock and Sean Longstaff. And the attacker three of Joe Linton, Miggy Almiron and Callum Wilson. Okay.
But again, I still do think that this Arsenal game is the kind of game that Sir Alex Maxima should come in. He
A
can
lot of
out
people,
muscle
to be
players.
honest,
You need that, man. You
there's
need that.
actually some actually have been saying they would like to see ESM come in. They said they would actually take Longstaff out as well because he misfired those opportunities as well in a way.
Mm.
I mean, he didn't have a shooting boots on, to be fair. What manager has changed their unbeaten team I think I said I would like to see Wilson back in because if you want goals, Wilson's your man to get there if you give him the service, absolutely. Right, we're starting to come now towards the end of the show now.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do, excuse me, that
Sorry, man. Yeah.
is get the score predictions in. So we'll start off with you.
That's a big one.
Go on then, Tony. What's your score prediction tomorrow for your side against us?
You know what? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. I really think that tomorrow will be a very, very big test for Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to fancy Arsenal 3-1 winners tomorrow.
Okay.
I think Newcastle will score the first goal tomorrow. And I feel that Arsenal will respond in kind. And it will be a brutal first 10 minutes, a very brutal one in the middle of the park, because Newcastle will want to come and show their might and strength, their newfound strength in the middle. I also do see Miguel Almiron trying to have a go. At our defenders, because I think he smells blood, with our centre backs, and he could generally cause genuine problems for us because of his skill set, his newfound dribbling skills, and of course his goal poaching ability right now. He's a deadly force to reckon with right now. Anyone who thinks is not a threat, man, you're living under a rock. He's a goal threat. But I want to see that challenge because it also enables me to put Newcastle, at a level in the pedestal that they're running with right now. Because right now, I can't just really see where to fix Newcastle. This match, of all matches, this match is the big one because it helps me place Newcastle where they should be. I have a show called Gunners and Mags. It's for just Newcastle fans and Arsenal fans. I'll be inviting you to that show next week. You should be gracing there, and talking with me and Steve McCullough, who is also a Newcastle fan. And I don't know what position I should fix Newcastle this season. I love what you guys did with Man City, but again, I'm fixing you guys for top 4 this season. But I need to see what you guys have prepared for us tomorrow. If you guys collapse tomorrow, it will inform where I have to put you guys this season.
Okay.
You guys need to have a performance tomorrow.
Brentford's 1-0 against Liverpool.
Man.
Do not write Brentford off at all.
Man, it's just good to see how all these teams are struggling. Brentford, I beat them in the first half, even with Ivan Toney. A prime Ivan Toney who wanted to go to the World Cup. We beat them up 3-1. These guys have beaten Man City. They've beaten Man United this season, and they're having a go at Liverpool right now.
Absolutely.
Mr. Proudlock, what else? What other evidence do you need? What other evidence do you need to let you know that Arsenal are big, strong, and we're back?
Absolutely. Right, my score prediction. I am feeling confident we are actually going to get something at the Emirates.
Okay.
I'm confident we are going to get something at the Emirates.
I love this. I love this confidence.
I'm going to say the game will finish 2 apiece, a 2-2 draw.
That's a good one too.
If we go down and get a point at the Emirates, it'd be great. I mean, again, we've not won there since 2010. If we kind of ended that rot, which would be absolutely fantastic. as well. And Mighty Mike says, Tony, we are coming after you. So
Sure,
Mighty Mike's
man.
feeling,
Sure.
he's
Respect to you, Mighty Mag.
feeling
Big up to you.
confident as well. But 2-2 is what I'm going to go with. But anyway, guys, we've now come to the end of the show. So again, if you have enjoyed, please hit the thumbs up. If you have enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button to really help
Smash
grow
the
the
likes,
channel.
guys.
Absolutely. And hit the notification bell to let you know of any live shows as well. You can still donate. Feel free to become a member as well. And I will drop Tony's channel in the link description when this is finished. It's Tony Claude Gunner TV.
Yeah.
So I will drop his channel link in the description. So feel free to check him out on his channel as well. What is content you've got coming up on your channel, Tony?
Yeah. I have a one of my flagship show, which will be coming up 8:30 today. It's with Deji Spores. Is a deluded Spores fan, a great guy anyway, but it's a deluded Spores fan that we have a back and forth together with every week on my show. It's called the Minority Report. So I should be having that 8:30 today. Tomorrow I might be having a watch along for the Newcastle match. So anybody who is willing to have the balls, to join up in that, come join up because I'm very confident about this Newcastle game. Not because Newcastle is a team to push over. No, it's because we have a very good record. With Newcastle at home, so that's what informs my cojones right now. That's why I'm talking with lots of confidence in Mr. Proudlock's show today, because of your performance in the Emirates has been quite abysmal for some, for a long stretch. And I really do think we'll get something in. And of course, my channel is an open channel. I for some reason, I love Newcastle fans, so that's why I created a show for both Newcastle fans and Arsenal fans on my channel also. And I invite lots of people to come to my show. All opinions on my show are heard, and I really do respect everyone. It would be nice to have you, Mr. Proudlock, on my show in Gooners and Mags. Episode 5. I want to see you there. I would invite you so that you and Mr. Makala, who is also a Newcastle fan from America, you guys can, just talk about the game tomorrow. So it will be the aftermath. So whatever losses you face in that match, you will just come and rant about it. And if I do lose, I'll eat the humble pie and
Mate, Max has enjoyed being you on, Tony. Hey,
Yeah,
what we got
thanks,
coming up next? What we got coming up next as well? Of course, I'll be back with a watch along tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll have Mr. Sinclair joining me for that one, which is what he's normally been doing for the watch alongs on the shows on the channel for this season as well. So I'll ask if Mr. Sinclair could join me for that as well. And most likely
Big ups, Mr. Sinclair.
And most likely next day, the next day after that, will probably be the match review and player ratings as well.
Yeah.
So there
and
you
of
are.
course, I would like to be coming back to your show, man. I love this show.
The PD's Football Live show takes place every Friday night.
Yeah.
Your first time when you seen those food pics was just
yeah. It's just tasty, man.
It's a bonkers show.
I love this show, man. I love this show. Guys, smash the like buttons. You'll be seeing me around here. I want to be this man's friend and everything. I want to come down to his show. I want him to also come down to my show. He's a great person, great personality. I love him to death. It's a new year. Come support this channel. Look at what he's doing. It's bringing Newcastle's message to you guys. The only thing you can do for him right now is to support him, give him that push. Of course, he has a family to feed, and he brings out that time to still come up here and just give you good unadulterated Newcastle news. So you have to support him. Support him everywhere. Go to Instagram, support him down there, support him down here. Give donations to whatever he's doing, and just let's make this year a very big year for Mr. Proudlock's channel. Big up to you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much, guys, and I will catch you along next time, which will be tomorrow. We'll be starting the watch along around about 7:15, half an hour just before kickoff as well. So do keep an eye out again for the watch along tomorrow, and we shall see you later. Take care of yourselves.
Take care. Peace out.
Enjoy the rest of your day. See you later.